Greetings, I am the wrestling fan. I may not be the best wrestling fan, but I am the finest. And welcome to my pick of the month for May 2016. Okay, while going through my wrestling DVD and Blu-ray collection and watching stuff on the WWE Network and all that jazz, I came across a Blu-ray that I just got not too long ago. I'll go ahead and show it. It is the first release of the long-anticipated first release of an Owen Hart DVD or Blu-ray, as I got the Blu-ray. If you don't know, which if you're watching my video, I'm sure you do, I'm going to keep this right here because I'll need it again. Owen Hart tragically passed away in May of 1999. He fell from the rafters in an unfortunate accident and died. I was actually watching the pay-per-view he died at, Over the Edge. My family wasn't rich, so I didn't get very many WWF pay-per-views. I don't know why I wanted this pay-per-view so badly. I mean, I wanted all of them back then during the Attitude Era. I wanted all of them. But this one, I still don't know how I convinced my dad to get it, but he got it for me. And of all the weird pay-per-views that weren't a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble, I got this one. Still have no idea why. But, yeah, it was an odd night. You know, I was younger and I was naive to wrestling. I knew it was fake. Spoilers, for anyone who doesn't know. I knew it was predetermined, but I took it very seriously. Even more seriously than I do now. And it was weird because I was excited for the Blue Blazer Godfather Intercontinental title match, and then it cut to Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, that infamous video. And it was upsetting. Like, I really was. I didn't know if it was real or not. I thought maybe it was some kind of joke. And the next night on Raw, I watched and bawled my eyes out like most wrestling fans. And at the time, I didn't understand. I only knew Owen from the Attitude Era. And I didn't understand what good wrestling was. I didn't know what good wrestlers was. I watched WWF Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views during that time for the characters and the storylines. The matches, the quality was second. I enjoyed them. But like my favorite matches were the hardcore matches, you know. I hadn't seen Owen Hart in his prime in the early 90s. His terrific feud with Bret Hart, some of those matches are still some of my all-time favorites now. I didn't know about those. I didn't become acquainted with those for a long time, you know. When I really became the wrestling fan, I was just a fan back then. I didn't understand how special Owen was. And it's still a tragedy, but for the first time ever, I haven't done this on a pick of the month before. I want to celebrate Owen by choosing a match of his for my pick of the month. I'll go ahead and say the match I'm choosing, it's not the full match because I don't have the full match. And there really aren't many Owen Hart matches I have that took place in May. But I found this one, I watched it, and it's just to celebrate who Owen was, how good he was as a wrestler, and I think this match does that for anybody curious of how good Owen Hart really was. So, my pick of the month for May 2016 is Owen Hart versus Makhan Singh. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, sorry. It's a big frickin' dude. For the North American Heavyweight Championship from Stampede Wrestling, which took place on May 6, 1988. I had never seen any of Owen's work in Stampede Wrestling. I know he made him a name for himself around the world in Stampede. He kind of became their biggest star after Bret Hart left. Because he was a high flyer, and when I saw Owen in the Attitude Era, I didn't see him high flying. He really wasn't high flying anymore. He was doing the, well, enough is enough and it's time for a change, and he was in the Nation of Domination, and then he was a tag team with Jeff Jarrett before he tragically passed away. And I hated him because he was such a good heel. I didn't know about him, you know. So I didn't get it. And over the years, I've seen a lot of his matches. And then finally, WWE got a green light to release, a documentary about his life, and it's a good documentary for what it is. It's a shame his wife, is still. I mean, I guess I don't blame her for still being a little pissed about it. It kind of ruined her life a little bit. You lose your husband when you shouldn't. Not even in an in-ring accident. It's something he shouldn't have been doing in the first place. That no wrestler should have been doing in the first place. It is what it is. But not just the documentary, but I'm glad they released, and they did a good job releasing a bunch of matches that have never been released of Owen Hart's before. And the ones that have been released before, they deserve to be on the set because they're classics. Like Bret Hart, Owen Hart WrestleMania 10. That is still one of my top 5 favorite matches of all time. It's to me, that's a 5-star flawless match. Don't know why that wasn't named 5 stars, Dave Meltzer. Really don't, but whatever. But back to the match I chose. I really only chose it because it took place in May. But it's also cool to see an Owen Hart match from Stampede, and I still don't understand. They did this on Bret Hart's DVDs or Blu-rays. The Stampede stuff, it's never the full matches. And it really pisses me the fuck off because I want to see the full fucking matches. And I'm sorry, but it's like, it makes me mad. I don't know why they do that. Did their matches go on for 5 hours so you can't release them? Because I highly doubt it. But this match, it's only like 10 minutes, and it's not the full match. But for what it is, it shows how over Owen was with the Stampede crowd. He was such a good high flyer, and he was such a good guy, as well as a bad guy later in his career when he turned against Bret. But it showcases how good Owen was, how he connected with the crowd, how great he was in the ring, how what he did it looked like it took no effort. He didn't have to think about it, he just did it. And I respect the hell out of him now, and he was a great wrestler. So I do recommend this match, but more importantly, I do recommend this, whether you get the Blu-ray or the DVD. I'm glad WWE finally did it. And people can say, oh, they're trying to make money. Well, yeah, of course they are. It's a business. But at the same time, a shitload of this stuff, I buy it because it is celebrating. It's making them money, but it's also making money for the wrestlers. I don't know where this money's going, but it's good for the fans. It's good for us, and it's good because it doesn't let Owen Hart completely fade away. He's not completely dead. He will be remembered, and he deserves to be remembered because he was that good. So that's why I want to choose this match, and to kind of go into the backstory of why I chose it, that I was one of the many people who did see the pay-per-view live. I wasn't in the arena when it happened, but I saw it live, and it was tragic, and it should not have happened. I don't really blame WWE. It's just something that shouldn't happen, and I hope it never happens in wrestling again. And so far, many tragedies have happened, but that one hasn't. But people shouldn't blame WWE. I hope he goes in the Hall of Fame someday. I hope his kids can be there when he's inducted, because it would mean a lot to the fans, but Owen deserves it. He deserves to be in there with Bret and with Stu Hart, and he deserves it. He had a Hall of Fame career. He really did. He's like Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. He deserves to be in there without ever winning the WWE World title. And he never really won a World Championship. Kurt Hennig did in the AWA, and that counts. Owen didn't, but still deserves it. Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion, European Champion, King of the Ring, had the best opening match in WrestleMania history. He deserves it, so I hope he gets it someday. But that was my pick of the month for May 2016. I got more wrestling to watch, so thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next The Wrestling Fan video. Later, bitches.